Hello everyone, this is Jeff Blankenship with HEB Instructional Technology, and this is an overview of Google Jamboard. If you've never heard of Google Jamboard, Jamboard is a whiteboard application that's made available to you through your Google Suite, and it's just an excellent resource to have if you need to do something like explain a concept to students during a Google Meet session, or if you're just wanting to capture a recording with some actual digital ink writing to kind of explain a concept to students, you can do it very quickly using Jamboard. So keep in mind, Jamboard is available to you through your Google Suite, and I'm going to show you how to get there in just a second. But there's also an iPad application for Jamboard. If you're secondary and you guys have the touchscreen tablets, you don't need to worry about installing any sort of application. You can just use Jamboard out of the box. If you are elementary and you're going to be using Jamboard and you have a desire to write on the Jamboard, you're going to want to make sure that you install the application on your iPad. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and go to my Google Drive. And after a few seconds, you'll see my Drive screen comes up. There's ClassLink, making the magic happen. Okay, I'm going to go up to my Google Waffle in the top right-hand corner, and I'm just going to scroll down and I'm going to find Jamboard. Okay, when you land on the Jamboard screen, you'll see it's Google Jamboard up here in the top left-hand corner. Right now, I don't have any Jamboards in my library. So when you're ready to add a Jamboard, you're going to go ahead and click the yellow plus sign down in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's going to create a blank canvas for you. Okay, do make sure that you give your Jamboard a title. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add one by clicking up in the right-hand corner. All right. And I select OK. Okay, so on the left, you will notice that you guys have some tools, including a pen tool. You also have an eraser tool. You have a select tool. You have sticky notes. You have the ability to add images, and you also have a laser pointer. Okay, across the top, you have an undo, a redo. You also have the ability to choose some zoom options. So if you want to zoom in on your screen while you're doing work, you could do that. Notice that you have a background option as well. So you'll notice you can choose different backgrounds. So if you need to have a grid because you need to graph a parabola, you can do that. Okay, and you'll also notice that you have the ability to clear frame, which basically removes any digital ink or any content from the screen. Okay, so to begin, you're going to have your Jamboard up here. You can see that you can select your pen tool right over here. Okay, when I select a pen, I have different types of pen. I have a pen, I have a marker, I have a highlighter, and I also have a brush. So I would just select my pen and I would select whatever color it is I want to be writing with. Okay, for those of you who have the tablet devices, you can just begin writing directly on the screen. If you were broadcasting your screen to students, they would see those changes happening on the Jamboard as they're happening. Okay, for elementary teachers, you'll need to go to your iPad application for Jamboard, and you'll need to open up the Jamboard that you just created. So I'm going to go ahead and cut over to that and just show you guys an example of that on the iPad. All right, so you can see here I am on my I'm on my iPad, and you can see there's my Jamboard that I created, my Mr. B algebra. So I can click to open that. All right, and once that Jamboard opens, you'll see that I have the same tools available to me on my iPad version that I have available to me on my computer version of Jamboard. Okay. All right, and it may take a few seconds to load, but once it successfully loads, you'll notice it's the exact same screen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select a pen tool, and I'm going to go ahead and select a marker color, and you'll see that when I begin writing on my iPad, it just automatically will appear on my Jamboard on my computer. Okay, so if I were broadcasting this to my students through a Google Meet, or if I were capturing this as part of recording with Loom, it's just automatically being transmitted for me. Okay, makes the writing process much easier. You don't have to use a mouse. You can use your iPad and you can use your iPad crayon. Okay, so you can go through, you can work through the problem. If you wanted to, like I said, you could be recording this with Loom and everything's being captured. Okay, notice that you also have the eraser tool. Okay, so if I want to erase content on my screen, I can come over here, I can erase, and I have the ability to clear frame if I want to. Okay, I have my selection tool, I have sticky notes, I also have the ability to add my image, and I also have a laser pointer. So if I come over here and I want to kind of draw my kids' attentions to some details within a problem, or I can say, hey, I'm going to do +2, you can work through that. The nice part about the laser pointer is that it just stays on the screen for a few seconds, so it's just a nice way to draw their attention to something on the screen. Okay, so when you're ready for a new slide, you can either clear the frame, or up here at the top where you have the frame bar or the slide bar, you can just click the right arrow. Okay, and when you do that, it will create a new blank slide for you. Okay. Again, if you are on a tablet device at the secondary level, you can just continue working directly on your screen. You can use your touch screen to mark up this particular slide as well. On the iPad, you'll need to make sure that you transition to slide 2 before you begin doing the work on that slide, so that the kids can see that you're actively working on slide 2. Okay, so it doesn't just progress automatically. You'll have to choose the right arrow on the iPad to move to slide 2 in order to begin doing the work. Okay, so when you're on slide 2, notice it comes in blank. I can choose another background if I want to. Completely up to you guys. Notice that you do have the ability to insert images. Okay, so if you have a worksheet from the curriculum that's in a PDF format, or if you have a PDF document, in order to get it to work with Jamboard, you'll have to do a screen capture in order to get that in. Jamboard will handle images very, very nicely. If you can get the image into your Google Drive, it could be inserted directly into your Jamboard. So if it were me and it were a PDF document, I would just pull it up on the screen. I would use something like my screen clipping tool on my tablet or on my PC. And if I have it on my iPad, I can just do a screenshot, move that into my drive, and then add it directly into my Jamboard. So an example of that would be, I've already gone through and I've found a worksheet that I had on inequalities. So I can go to my Google Drive. Here's that worksheet that I did a screen capture of. Okay, and when it comes into my screen here in just a second, you'll see that I have the ability to click and drag to make that larger. Okay. So I can make that as big as I need to. I can move it around on the screen, okay? And I can go ahead and begin doing work on that worksheet. So let's say I have my digital ink pen selected and I want my kids to do some work on this problem right here. You'll see I can come in, I can demonstrate information to them. I can come in, I can choose a highlighter tool if I wanted to highlight some content on the number line. It's all very achievable just using the ink tools on my device. Okay, you'll see those changes automatically appear on my worksheet on my PC. Okay, so it's a very, very user-friendly application, regardless of whether or not you're using it right out of the box on a tablet, or if you're using it in conjunction with an application on the iPad. It works very, very well. Okay, keep in mind what I'm doing here and what I'm saying could potentially be used for a Google Meet. Could also be used in conjunction with something like Loom to do a screen recording or a screencast, and you can actually create recordings of what it is you're doing directly on your iPad or on your PC, and then you could post those any place that you wanted to. So just a couple more things. You'll notice over here in the right hand corner you have the 3 dots for more actions. When you select that, notice that you have a couple of choices. You can take your Jamboard that you're currently working on and download it as a PDF, and you can save it as an image if you want to. Either one of those options would allow you to save it directly to your drive, and then you could provide notes to your students using these 2 options. Okay. Finally, this kind of goes above and beyond, but depending on how you're going to use Jamboard, it's useful to know. Notice that you have the share option. Okay, if I choose share, you'll see it automatically defaults to private, only you can access. But if I change that, I can say that anyone in HAB who has the link can access it, or anyone in the world who has the link can access it. So depending on your need, you can choose one of those. You'll see right now it says that the only access level they have is can view. If I wanted somebody to collaborate on this with me, I could change this to edit. Okay, so be aware that you could have somebody else working on the same Jamboard that you're working on if you want to. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and save or set it to can view. That means anybody who has the link and clicks on the link will be taken to my Jamboard, and they can see my Jamboard and the active changes that I'm making on it. So if I were to save this, I could take this link and paste it into my Google Classroom, or I could paste it into a Seesaw, and it's very organic. The changes that I'm making on my Jamboard happen real time for anybody who has this link. So another option would be potentially, rather than doing, if I wanted to, I could be doing a Google Meet, but I could share this link with my students during the meet so that they can bounce back and forth between my Google Meet tab, and they could be clicking into another tab to see the Jamboard and the work that I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay, so that's Jamboard in a nutshell. Very, very fast, but it is very, very simple. I encourage you guys to try it, experiment with it. If you do have any questions at all, please contact your instructional technology specialist, and we'll be happy to get you going. All right, you guys have a great day and hang in there.